Psalm 55, verse 22 says, cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you.
Guys, how's it going? Pastor John here. This is a small group leader video, meaning if you got that email that went out, that means that I consider you one of the leaders of small groups, either a host or a facilitator, and that means you clicked on that nifty blue link and it brought you here, most likely, unless you subscribe to this YouTube channel, which I think there's like 2 people. So anyways, welcome to the video. And just so you know, the reason why I do these videos is kind of to expound upon those emails. Number one, nobody likes opening and reading, 10-page emails. And nobody likes writing 10-page emails. So instead of that, I figured I'd just do videos for you. And also, I think there's a better way to communicate, and it's a little bit more relational, and at least it's a one-way conversation. You can't interact. I mean, I guess you could interact. You could be yelling at me or whatever. But but it's, I think, a good way to communicate. I'd love to hear your feedback, whether it's working or not for you. So let me know that. The first thing I'd just like to talk about is this awesome study by Tim Keller. If your small group is going through, and I hope that you are, some amazing things are pointed to in that book. And Timothy Keller's reasoning and the way that he prays and his tips and advice and knowledge are just incredible. And I've grown so much. And now I'm reading it right now again for, I think, the second or third time now. I read it a couple years back, and now I'm revisiting it. And it is a wonderful book. And one thing I just wanted to point out, and I'm going to try to go fast here, so if you can play me at half speed, it might help. But later in the book, on page 228, Keller writes this. He says, God will either give us what we ask or give us what we would have asked if we knew everything he knows. Now, I think that Keller's pointing to a principle that we all know, right? God is all-knowing, and he's all good, and he loves us, and he always answers our prayers rightly. Now, up here, I feel like we know that. We know that for a fact. But do we live like that in our prayer life? Because I think I'm just going to speak for a personal example. Sometimes, I feel like God might be a genie in a lamp, a cosmic fortune cookie, where I ask of him and he should do what I want, because of course I know what's best for my life, right? I fall back into that. And Keller really kind of hit me in the face with this and when he wrote that, and it's like, well, no, God never answers prayers wrongly. He always answers them rightly. And I can take comfort in that. And now apply that on top of not just our more trivial types of prayers. And I'm not saying that your prayers don't matter, but like, Lord God, get me to Arizona so I can enjoy Flagstaff and get me home safely. Like, that's a good prayer, like, absolutely. But I'm talking about the more robust stuff, the hard stuff. Like, for me, it's praying for my family who don't yet know King Jesus. I've been praying for 10 years, and he doesn't seem to be answering, not in the way that I want him to answer. But he knows better, right? He answers not necessarily the prayer that I pray, but the prayer that I should be praying if I knew what he knows, because he knows everything. So I take comfort in that. Or for you that have a sick loved one, sometimes it can be hard, because when we're praying, we're expecting God to answer according to our will, not necessarily his. So it's these big times, it's these big things, these hard things where our theology actually meets. It's like rubber meeting the road, right? And hopefully our theology is robust enough that it grips the surface and is what actually drives us forward instead of our own pursuits. And that's sometimes hard, guys. So I hope that you're wrestling with these things in your group in the context of them. And if any of this hit a nerve with you, make sure you reach out. Either call me or shoot me an email. Text is always good too. So with that, guys, that's just some thoughts on the current study. But with that, there's just a few things to highlight, a few things to point out as small groups come to an end. Now, my calendar is over here on this wall. It's really, really big, so I can keep track of everything. So when I glance over on that side, you'll know exactly what I'm looking at. So I just wanted to throw these dates out there. You have them in the email, so don't need to jot them down. I'm going to start with the most important. Now, it's not chronologically correct, but it is of importance. This is the most important thing. May 18th. May 18th is our next small group huddle. Friends, family, saints of God, let's get to that small group huddle. May is still a few months away. Mark it on your calendar, May 18th. Right now, grab your calendar, boom, on your phone on your piece of paper, on your computer, iCal, boom, May 18th. Make sure you mark that down, because that is our next small group huddle, and it's going to be not just a great time for fellowship and fun, but we're going to be launching out some stuff that's really going to be foundational to the next direction, the next movement within the small groups, how we're going, and you're not going to want to miss that. And it's really important that you guys come. So if you are currently a facilitator or a host of a small group, May 18th, I would love to see you at my house. Yes, it will be good food. Yes, it'll be good conversation and company. But more importantly, there's going to be some stuff rolled out that you guys are going to want to get involved with. And you guys are going to be at the very base level of it. And it's going to go out church-wide eventually. So anyways, that's the first order of business. Next, just keep in mind that this upcoming week is the last week of small groups. That's March 11th. By the 17th, you guys are hopefully wrapping up. I know some of you guys are on your own schedules, and that's just fine. But do understand that come March 18th, we are offering small group signups. So this is very important. If you haven't gotten to me your small group roster, an updated roster of who's currently visiting your small group, correct address, stuff like that, please email me. Because I'm going to be creating the lists this next week to put out next weekend on the tables. And especially, guys, if you got that email and you click that link and you are not currently leading or hosting a small group, please let me know that, because I don't want to include a list for your group if your group's not meeting. That would be a shame. So make sure you update me on those things and get those to me as soon as you can. Just shoot me an email. Just reply to that last email if you want, or you can give me a call too. Thirdly or fourthly, I forget, Hope for Kids silent auction baskets. They are due by Easter. Now, I'd love to get them before that. You can drop them off in the office Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., or you can bring them with you to service, and you will see a table in the foyer. It's a very fancy word, foyer. I like lobby. But yeah, there's going to be a table there where you can drop them off. You can fill out the form, put your name on it, kind of the value of the items in the basket, so that we can make sure we price it accordingly, and at the silent auction get a fair price. And those are going to be due April 1st, which is Easter. Make sure that those are in by then, because we're actually hoping to get so many of them that we're going to put them on the stage, and it will really highlight something that we're really passionate about, and that is our participation in helping foster youth here at Living Oaks Church. Also mark on your calendars that the week after Easter is going to be the start of the spring 2018 small group session. That's going to be April 8th. And then that's going to run all the way through June 10th. And at the end of that, the week of June 10th is going to be the last week. And then we break for summer. And in that vein, guys, I just want to let you know that if you guys are at all interested in getting involved in this summer, a D group, I'm looking to gather just some leaders who really want to go through this, just facilitators and hosts of small groups. And I'm trying to lead a couple groups through what D groups really look like. It's a lot of fun. It's transformative. It's an amazing time. So if you want to get involved in that, just let me know. And with that, I just want to leave with 2 application points. Try to in just the next minute and a half. First, both having to do with prayer. The first one, I challenge you guys, if not this week, this upcoming week, next session, spend one entire time in prayer. The whole time, from beginning to end. If you guys do a social gathering beforehand, a little bit of fellowship, I'd say cut that out just for this one time and get into prayer and spend an hour and a half or so for prayer. And that would be awesome. And the second challenge, this is fantastic. This was transformative for me. A couple years back, I read this somewhere and it really worked well, that I challenged myself to become have a more robust prayer life. And what I did is I set aside every day, I set a timer on my phone. I'd set a timer for 1 minute, and I'd pray for 1 minute straight for 3-4 days. And then I moved the timer up to 5 minutes. Same thing, 3 or 4 days, 5 minutes. And you'd be amazed at how long 5 minutes seems when you first start praying. But then I upped it to 10 minutes and 15 and then 30 and then 40 and then 45 and then an hour. And by the end of my time, a couple months, I was praying for an hour long. And it was really, really cool what happened. To see God move in very powerful ways. And my relationship with him has never been the same in a very good way. And you guys, I highly recommend you guys trying to do that. Now, if you want to do that with me, that'd be fantastic. I'd definitely be willing to set aside time and gather a group of you guys, or just one of you, and do it. But it means that we'd have to commit some time once a week. So anyways, that's it from me. And you guys are heading into the last week of small groups. If you need anything, please reach out. One last thing. I forgot to mention this up front. This is like my 5th take at this video. So, and this is going to be the last one. It's a good one. So guys, one of the things I've been kind of remiss in the last year and a half is trying to meet with you guys very intentionally outside of the huddle times. And I know Friday nights don't always work for everybody. I hope that this next one will on May 18th. But I'd really love to get some coffee with you. So if you'd like to just spend some time in fellowship, just hang out and talk about your small group, where it's going, what you've been doing, what you like, what you don't like, what you need to improve on, what you think I can help improve with, where I'm falling short. I would love to spend some time with you. So would you just email me back or text me, and you have my phone number from the previous emails and the one that I just sent? Because I'd really like to set up a time where we can get together and fellowship and have some fun. So with that, guys, I have a great last week. I'll send out another video probably next week, and I'll see you this Sunday. And thank you guys most of all for everything, for all you're doing. You guys are amazing, and it's such an honor and privilege to be able to serve you like this. So praise the Lord, guys. God bless you, and I will see you this Sunday. All right, guys. Take care.
Yeah. Gracious God, please hear I cry.
Hear I cry, Lord. Hear I cry, Lord.
Restlessly we moan inside.
Moan inside. We moan inside.
Oppression makes us wonder why.